Episode 137. I'll stuff your mouth, Jake Robinson. Under Serena's investigative gaze, Grandpa nodded and confirmed seriously.
That's what has happened.
Then he looked at the ceiling, looking upset.
I don't have a good son, so I have to stay with my grandson. Serena, you wouldn't mind, would you?
Serena quickly waved her hand. No way! But Grandpa, you really should not eat candies. Father's right. Those are no good for your health. Candies? The fake lonesome look on Captain Robinson's face started to crack. As he looked at Jake, Jake quickly intervened, walked away and said, "Dinner time." Nanny Harper tried not to laugh while putting dinner on the table. After doing that, she went upstairs to tidy Grandpa's room. After getting the room ready, Nanny Harper started to change the sheets. However, as she took up the pillow, she saw the folder underneath. Divorce contract? She let out a sigh. It was not the first time that she had seen it. But why did they need it? If Grandpa saw it, he would not be happy. Nanny Harper thought about it, put it back into the drawer, and locked it up. After dinner, Jake took a shower and started working in his study. Serena was working on her homework in the living room. Watching a legal drama in the living room, Captain Robinson glanced at Serena, and then upstairs from time to time without saying anything. After she finished her homework, she said goodnight to Grandpa and went upstairs. Grandpa nodded with a smile, but the moment she went away, he quickly took his cell phone and texted, "Dear grandson, upstairs now." Jake glanced at his phone. 2 minutes later, he then stood up and walked to the master bedroom. Serena was standing on her toes, trying to get her lingerie. Nanny Harper had a habit of placing her lingerie on the upper part of the closet, as she believed the further from the floor, the cleaner it would be. However, this was Jake's room. His furniture was designed for his height, so it was very difficult for her to reach it. Standing on her toes, Serena held her breath to get the lingerie, but actually pushed it further inside. It was now out of her reach. Suddenly, a shadow was cast over her. Serena felt a warm body approaching her from her back. A piece of lingerie was then presented to her. She was dazed, looking at the hand in front of her. Then she quickly blushed, snatched the lingerie, turned around, and hit the wall of his chest. It was strong, muscular, and filled with warmth. Serena's heart raced as she looked up and saw his deep and dark eyes. Jake moved forward, putting his hand on her waist, and whispered, "Still mad?" Hearing his voice, Serena immediately felt aggrieved again. Mad? Of course. Not only was she mad at what he had done to her, but she also hated how he humiliated her. What reason did he have to believe she had an affair with Henry? And why did he think that she did not love him? Pushing him away, Serena glared at him and left without saying anything. Her attitude was clear. She was mad. Jake pulled Serena close and pinned her against the wall. Serena stared, her eyes wide. She saw someone at the door before she could say anything. Afraid that they were going to fight, Captain Robinson came to check on the couple. However, just as he walked upstairs, he saw Jake pushing Serena against the wall and saw that she had a bra in her hand. Captain Robinson covered his eyes.
Wrong way. You guys continue.
Captain quickly walked out and thoughtfully closed the door behind him. Even the neck of Serena turned red. She wished she had somewhere to hide. She covered her face and turned her head to the side. Why did Grandpa come? So embarrassing. As she felt awkward, the man in front of her started to chuckle. Serena growled. What's so funny? Move away! Jake did not budge. Forcing her against the wall with his thigh, he whispered, Grandpa asked us to continue. We should take his advice. Then he leaned closer. Serena gave him a stare, lifted her hand and tried to push his face away. However, she forgot that she was still holding her bra and ended up stuffing it in his mouth. Jake looked down and narrowed his eyes. Feeling the soft fabric in his mouth, he slowly ground his teeth with a dangerous look in his eyes. Seeing that, Serena immediately thought of his look when he bit her and couldn't help clenching her legs. She flushed thinking about it. Feeling he was getting closer and closer, Serena's head was buzzing and her heart was racing. Gasping, she quickly turned her head to the side and pushed him away. Running into the bathroom, Serena shut the door behind her. Locking the door as fast as possible, she looked up in the mirror and saw herself with an obvious blush. She looked so slutty. What the heck? Weren't they fighting? Why did they almost kiss? Mad at herself, Serena gave herself a pinch and mumbled, You're so weak. That was super embarrassing. Jake stood still and smiled wider and wider, tightening his grip on the bra she left behind. He glanced at her pajamas on the bed and arched an eyebrow. It seemed that she needed some clothing. As soon as he grabbed the pajamas, he heard the door of the bathroom opening. Serena walked over, blushed, and snatched the pajamas from him. Quickly running away, she looked like Jake would devour her if she were any slower. With a smile, Jake reminded her, Aren't you forgetting something? He was holding up her bra in his hand. Serena was even more bashful as she cried, No need! It's okay if you don't wear it. I don't really mind. Her legs getting weak, Serena decided to not pay him any attention and entered the bathroom. Jackson lit up. Having been depressed for more than a week, he eventually felt better. It seemed that it was the right decision to invite Grandpa over for a while. Next, he had to handle another matter. With a sharp look in his eyes, Jake went to his study. After her shower, Serena saw Jake was gone and suddenly felt relaxed. She changed and went to talk to Grandpa for a while, before she returned to the master bedroom and fell asleep. However, at midnight she was awakened. Opening her eyes, she found she was in his arms. Serena tried to move around, but found he was breathing evenly and having a good rest. However, his hand was placed on her chest, and she could clearly feel his body temperature. Gritting her teeth, Serena lifted his hand, wanting to move it away. However, it immediately fell on her hips. With a shudder, Serena's cheeks were flaming. Wiggling, she pushed him lightly and whispered, Get your hands off of me! Jake was asleep, so how could he hear her? He moved in his sleep, accidentally or otherwise.